because I got the shit you can't get with. I wanted to pop in with a quick video. So like you've probably seen like a lot of YouTube videos where like somebody's like checking in from a car and like they might have some interesting stuff to say, but it looks kind of half-assed. Like either you'd be like, yeah, well they're kind of well-to-do, they got a nice car there, you can appreciate they're living pretty well or presenting themselves pretty well, but it still looks tacky and half-assed that you're making a car. So like, yeah man, so like I just closed this sale for like $10 billion. But I'm just waiting for my wife had my wife is like from she's like foreign, she's from the Middle East, and so she's like from a rare tribe in the Middle East, and her name is Reha from the Middle East, and so she had just been like visiting the family, so I'm just about to do my thing with her, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to check in real quick with the video, and I'm in this car, you know what I'm saying? It still looks half-assed. You're like, it looks half-assed and a little bit like tacky like that. But I'm actually making a video from a motorcycle right now. So maybe if someone could like tap it in the comments, have you seen somebody make a video from on top of a motorcycle before? And I'll just show like a little bit, so you know I'm not lying, but I'm not gonna blast what the bike is or nothing like that to make myself hot. but so yeah, I'm just tapping in real quick, just like from a motorcycle and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just tapping in real quick, like just waiting on some just waiting on some rain, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't got a lot more going on than rain, you know what I'm saying, and like running my mouth, but I just you know what I'm saying, but just tapping in from a motorcycle. Now I'm not trying to flex, but I'm not trying to point out that it might be interesting that I don't know if anyone's actually done a video from a motorcycle before, like perched out somewhere, parked out somewhere, staked out somewhere to do something above board, like productive, but so I wanted to tap in a little bit, like with this. I had a lot of times the things that actually come to your mind around people might be the best thing to say to someone, because one is that it's spontaneous and that it's improvised on what you're experiencing. So you're yet bonding over your environment. So if I go up to someone, I'm like, hey man, what do you think about Harry Potter? What's Harry Potter? You know, from like back in the 90s, Harry Potter. What do you think about that? Oh, yeah, it was cool. I gotta go. So there was no reference for that, and we're not really bonding over that, because even though we both came across that somewhere, that's not actually a point of bonding. But if I'm actually talking about like that fool looks like a witch right there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be derogatory. There's different faith walks, and like there's things like Wicca and stuff like that are actually authentic faith walks that people feel a way about and have the same faith that other people would have. So I don't mean to deride that, but I'm just saying, like, just the contrast, talking about something that's like not topical, that's not occurring, like a reference to like Harry Potter and what the subject of that is, and then showing like what it'd be like if someone actually walked by and then I pulled a reference to that was like humorous or just interesting, that we're now bonding over that. So now me and that person have an experience, we have something to remember each other by. So if I have say a handful of experiences like that, and then I bump into someone like, oh, aren't you that person that asked me about Harry Potter before? That's not interesting. But it's like, oh, and then like if I talk to someone and then have an inside joke, like I see them and then I act like I'm flying up on a broom, now we have a reference and we've actually bonded at that point. So like speaking in the moment, but also what would actually come to your mind around a person. I think that's actually the real interaction that's going on, because I think that so when things actually get, according to Arthur Avalon, you have the cause of something, the subtle essence of something, which is very potent. The cause is the most potent, then the subtle essence is potent, then the expressed, overt, blunt, crude, gross, large expression, enunciated, is the latter effect, where actually the latter effect is what might actually get you to connect with another person and actually get you in a good situation or in a bad footing. But it had been subtle before that, and so that might be something like when a lot of people are saying like, man, that one has an attitude, like that one just has an attitude. Like you can actually get reprimanded at work for an attitude, for conveying an attitude. When people are referring to attitude, what they're reaching for might actually be your subtle causal speech. According to Arthur Avalon, is that if someone is in tune with themselves enough, they can be in tune with the subtle causal expression of another person, similar to their speech, to actually get a read on what that person may be thinking or saying, which you can't actually know without experiencing what someone is thinking but you can appreciate the nuance of in the inflection of their posture and tonality and so forth that could be appreciated finer as their subtle speech. So there's actually speech going on at all times. If it gets to the point of being expressible, some things you actually can't turn on and off. So at all times you're either speaking, holding your peace, or biting your tongue, one or the other. That might be actually why sometimes you get pissed off listening to people, because some people you actually can't, like, it's difficult to tolerate them talking, and it might be because what they're saying, just the attitude that they would have, or the standpoint, or the inclination to broach certain subjects, that people would say you feel a way about that. What that might be is actually you are expressing yourself about, because you're expressing yourself at all times. We can't not communicate with people. We can't not engage people when we're together, and we also can't not express ourselves to others and also to ourselves when we're alone, because we're actually social beings, and so we're even social when we're alone. That's part of the difficulty and the skill and the blessing and the torment of being isolated, for lack of a better word, which is that we're still. Can you handle that form of socializing with yourself and be at peace with that, content with that, viable with that, productive with that? Can you do that? That's a significant question. And it might amount to different accomplishments in life, or maybe lack thereof. There's strength in numbers, but there's also strength in concealment and privacy. But the speech is always going on, so that might be your actual real interaction with another person. But also the type of things that would come into your mind. One is that you may be being influenced from different things you've heard or said within the different algorithms or goings on of an environment that would be similar to what they're experiencing, or offshoots or functions of what they're expressing would be what you're experiencing. So what would come to your mind is deeply interconnected with the present experience of existence, which we're all existing presently. You can have whatever thought you have about 5 years back, 5 months back, 5 days back, 5 minutes back, but we yet are one organism, and it is actually as now as it had been now, and it will yet be now, is still now, and had been now, and is yet again now as now. And so we are all existing. Like some people say that when you feel your pulse, according to Tajri Bey, that's actually the pulse of the entire universe, because the universe is pulsating, and it is one. It is more. It's not limited as one, but it is yet one. So actually, your heartbeat is actually the same heartbeat of others, and that's actually the present moment. Sometimes if you look at pictures, you can. It's interesting. Us as humans, we can read each other's attention. And if you look at a picture like from the past, like maybe a beautiful season in your life, you can see everyone. You can actually almost appreciate what people's attention is in that moment as you look at a picture, and you can see how some of their attention is isolated to what they're interested in, and then there's also a broader experience that they're a part of in that picture. That'd be like the zeitgeist. That's the spirit of the time. That's very beautiful. My mother is such a loving person that she brings out the best in people at all times. And even when we were children and she would take pictures in the Southwest, she would engage the community. Like there's one dude, his name was Jesse. He was a cold basketball player. He was a Latino, and he's like about four years older than me. But he was tall, and he was so coordinated and lanky and graceful at the same time. But he appreciated how much I like basketball, and he was a badass. He was a real life badass. I wouldn't want a problem with him then, and wherever in the hell he is now, I wouldn't want a problem with him now. On my hands and feet or otherwise, I wouldn't want a problem with that dude. But one time, there's a picture of this basketball tournament that my mom had actually organized, and she took a picture of him, and he's like this. He's like sticking his hand out at her, like she caught him like in a cool moment. And that's actually an example of how she can bring the beauty out of people, like even a real life badass. He was cool, but he was a badass too, and she would bring that out. But when you look at these pictures, you can see that there's actually the moment that's existing. That's still the moment. What your favorite picture? That's still the moment. I think we're existing as, but it's yet dynamic and living and breathing and ceaseless motion is what the universe is. How could you create? I got one for you. I got two ones for you. How could you perfectly anticipate the future, spot on, without any ambivalence, more accurate than an oracle would? How could you do so? You could appreciate that all things exist as a cycle, and so as you do nothing, understand nothing, overlay nothing, assume nothing, things will exactly play out as a function of the cycle that we are yet in and as, and will yet again be and experience in and as now. That's the future. Also, how could there was another one I was gonna go with that. Dang, I had another one. Dang, I'm gonna come back with this one. I had another idea, but it must have been a bird flew by and stole it out of my head.